Hi, I'm the nature guy at Camp Sable. We're inside here in our display of birds of prey, which include things like hawks and eagles and falcons, but also includes owls. And this weekend is the Pathfinder Camporee in the North Woods at Camp Sable. And they are working on Sabbath afternoon. They're going to be learning all about owls, working on a brand new honor, the Owl Honor that was created by our intern up here at Camp Sable. His name is Nolan Keys. And so they're trying it out. So I figured for our weekly Nature Nugget, we would learn about owls too. So one of the questions is, what makes an owl an owl? Well, it turns out there's about 6 things that distinguish them from the other raptors. So we're going to learn about those now. So the first requirement in this honor says, list 6 main differences between owls and other raptors. Well, let's first of all describe a raptor. A raptor is a fancy name for a bird of prey, or those things like hawks and owls and eagles that capture other things with their large talons and eat them. And so there already is a raptor honor that you can get. But owls are very unique from the other raptors, and so that's why we decided to create an owl honor. So the first question kind of makes a lot of sense. What's the difference between an owl and a raptor? And we're going to work on that right now. So if you got your pencils out, you can kind of fill in the blanks here. So there are several differences. First of all, one of them is that owls are nocturnal. Nocturnal means that they're active at night, okay? Birds of prey, the other birds of prey that aren't owls, are mostly diurnal. That means they're out in the daytime. So that's one big difference. Owls are nocturnal. The other hawks and eagles, the other raptors, are diurnal. Part B in your workbook. Owls have special feathers that make them silent flyers. Now I've got a great horned owl here that's from the Nature Center, one of our stuffed specimens. And if you look at the feathers, we're going to try to get around here so you can get a look. The edge of those feathers on its wing are very fuzzy. They have a little comb-like structure right along this edge. We'll see if we can get close enough up that you can see that little comb. So that breaks up the wind and it muffles the wind as it goes over the wing. A lot of other birds like pigeons and hawks, when they flap their wings and they're flying and the air is flying over or moving over their wings as they're flying, it creates a lot of noise. So this little comb-like structure on the wing helps them flap silently. Also, if you look at all of their feathers, they kind of have a very fuzzy look to them. Here's on the back a little bit. It's tracking me instead of the owl. There we go. These feathers are very furry looking, and that adds some quietness to the flight. So the answer to B really is that comb-like structure and fuzzy feathers are the ways that owls fly much more quietly than hawks. Part C. Owls are generally bulkier. That means they're sort of big and square. They're bulkier than the other birds of prey, like falcons and hawks and eagles. So they're just a heavier built bird, a lot thicker up front, bigger head than the hawks and eagles. D is really important. Hawks are much more dependent on their sense of hearing for hunting, as opposed to their eyes. Now, hawks and eagles use their eyes. They have some of the best vision of all the birds. They look for their prey, but owls primarily listen for their prey. And so that's interesting. The other thing, another difference, so part E, owls have much larger eyes than raptors do, okay? And that is because they have to see at night when they have to be able to see as they're flying, and they do use vision a bit to hunt, but really good ears to hear their prey and really good eyes to be able to fly around at night. And their eyes are a very different shape. They're not round like an eyeball like you have or other birds have. There's there's sort of a ring that goes around and squeezes the round eye and makes it more tubular. And that gives them better nighttime vision and almost like a little telescope. That tube is like a telescope. And that makes a big difference for the owl's eyes. And the other one is that owls have their eyes facing forward. Now let's get our great horned owl back again. All right. Their eyes face forward like my eyes do. They're the only birds that have forward-facing eyes. Okay? Most birds have their eyes on the side of the head. And now let's just get something different here. So, for example, here's a peregrine falcon. And you can see that its eyes are on the side of the head, whereas an owl's is straight forward. That makes owls look a little more human-like than all the other birds. And it may be the reason why we have the phrase a wise old owl, because the owls look more like humans than any of the other birds. But what really, the reason they have these forward-facing eyes is that the field of view from the two eyes overlap better. And so that gives them better binocular vision, is what we call it. That's what we use to see depth of field. I can see that the camera's here, and in the background there's something else, and you guys can see the background behind me. That's because we have two eyes that are facing forward, and there's an overlapping range of which the two eyeballs see, and that allows them for binocular vision. The other raptors and other birds have an eye going in each direction. There's very little overlap, so they're not really good at depth of field. So that about sums it up for you Pathfinders. There's in your workbook, that's requirement number 1 that we have finished. And now you're going to divide up and go to the other stations around the North Woods so that you can learn more about these incredible birds that we call owls. So what's the lesson we can learn from these interesting owls? Well, just like the owls have a set of characteristics that make them different from the rest of the raptors, so it is with humans. God made us very differently. He just spoke and created the other parts of the creation, but he knelt down in the dirt and formed us from the ground and breathed into us the breath of life. And he created humans because he wanted to have companions. In fact, he made us very much like him. This is in his own image. And so we're here for a very special reason, not just running around in the forest trying to live our life. In fact, he has made us as a companion for himself. So we must make sure that we are good companions to God. He would like to talk to us. He'd like to know our dreams and aspirations. He loves it when we pray to him so we can share what's on our heart. So when we're out in God's creation and we're looking at all the things that he's made, let's remember that he made us for a very specific purpose. He made us different than everything else he's created because he loves us very much. That's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye now.